Today you're in for something special. So crazy times lead to crazy stress, which leads to creativity, and that teamed up with experience is where we are at right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a strategy that you've been waiting for, and mark my words, you will be a homeowner by the end of this year. But what about high interest rates? Everyone's talking about the high interest rates. What about the market crash? I thought the home prices were going to drop another $100,000. Oh, and a friend of mine is investing in this new crypto because that's where they're making all the big bucks these days. Come on, guys. Can we focus for like 2.5 minutes and just hear me out here? I'm going to lay down the exact strategy that you need so that you can purchase a home and take advantage of a reduced monthly mortgage payment. Prepare yourself for future rate improvements and additional reductions in the payments. And what if you don't have enough money saved up for a down payment? Guess what? We've got that covered too. But after I share this, if you don't take the next step to complete our application for your pre-approval, then you will never find the right time to buy your first home. I repeat that, you will never. When I say this market is absolutely perfect for a first-time home buyer, I mean it's freaking perfect. This high interest rate environment is exactly what's needed for a first-time home buyer. It's exactly what's needed for someone especially that needs to get down payment assistance, because a seller is not going to be accepting a contract, an offer from someone buying their very first house, asking for credits, telling you you're going to get down payment assistance and all that other stuff in a normal market. So let's talk about the three big things, what you're doing right now with rent. So just a reminder, right? Your rent payment, how much of that is tax deductible? So your mortgage interest deduction and the property tax that you pay on your home, those are tax deductible, right? So you're like, great, a tax refund. No, that's literally tax deductible, and it can affect your monthly take home if you adjust your withholdings. Now, what about the money that you're putting away each month, your savings account? Your principal payment on your mortgage is forced savings. The best part of that is you can't get that money when the new iPhone comes out. So this is super helpful. And then what about appreciation? Equity. Listen, guys, I said it. If at the end of this video you're not filling out a digital application for a pre-approval, then you will never find the right time to buy a home. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. When I say this market is absolutely the most perfect market for a first-time home buyer, I mean that this high interest rate environment is perfect for a first-time home buyer. Crazy, but it's perfect, okay? Now, hear me out. If and when rates come back down, everyone else enters into the market. The A paper, big down payment investors. See, 2 years ago, when you were trying to buy a home and you were complaining because there was 5 other people trying to buy the same home and they were all outbidding you and they all had all these assets and they were waiving the appraisal and all of that stuff, and you just couldn't get an offer accepted, that was when rates are low. Now rates are high. So yeah, that sucks because the payment's going to be higher, but there's ways to work with that. So we're going to help you. We're going to help you with that. Comparing rent versus owning, let's look at just a couple of reasons why you need to take this step, right? So number one, tax deductions, mortgage interest deduction, and property tax. If you're making $100, $125, $150, you're probably paying half of that in state and federal income tax. So save yourself $20,000, $30,000 a year at least on your mortgage interest deduction and your property tax. It makes a big difference. And so the second part I like to look at is the forced savings. When you're paying a mortgage payment, part of that payment goes towards the principal. It's reducing the mortgage. The beauty of that is it's basically like you're paying into your own savings account. More awesome is that you can't pull that money back out easily. So the new iPhone or the new whatever comes out, you can't go to the ATM and pull the money out and go spend it. It's forced savings. It's beautiful. It's the best kind of savings. Okay, about building wealth. Appreciation is something you learn to appreciate as a homeowner. again, as a renter, you don't benefit from the market improvements and from the overall equity. It goes up in a particular area, particular marketplace. You're the owner of the property does, you don't. On the contrary, you're kind of flushing away cash, right? So if you're paying rent, and you may be paying $3,000 a month rent, if you're paying that for 5 years, you have paid at the end of that time $180,000 gone. It's kind of crazy to think about that. Now, if instead you bought a home for $600,000, and let's just say you bought the home $600,000 and put down 3.5%, whatever it is, over the next 5 years at a modest, or let's just say conservative level of appreciation, that home goes up $175,000 in equity. So that equity is not cash in your pocket. No, it's not. But it's money that can be used towards the purchase of the next home. And that's what I like to think of when you're getting the appreciation, the equity on your property. Use that towards the purchase of your next home, and that helps you as a move-up buyer, especially compared to the average person can't buy $1 million house right now. So, the average, two people that are working here in the Bay Area, husband and wife, they're going to probably be qualified for $700,000 home. Yet, we see folks that are buying $1 million home. Why is that? Well, the reason that is they bought a home 5 years ago for $500,000. The home is now worth $750,000. They're selling that home. They're taking the equity and they're putting that down on $1 million home. Their payment is still going to be low. And so now back to the strategy on buying the home at this high interest rate environment. We are not letting you pay this high payment. We are instead negotiating a seller credit to do a temporary rate buy down. We're utilizing that. We're essentially having the seller pay a quarter of your mortgage payment for the first 2 years. And we have the lender and servicer agreeing to reduce the interest rate as soon as the market changes at no cost to you. So we have this strategy pinpointed. We just need you to fill out the application so we can get going. Okay?